welcome to Today at the Races. Callie and Keith to get you guided through this 10-race card today. Keith, some good racing yesterday. Let's go ahead and take a look at the track on what we got going on for the layout, the foundation of this nice card that we have, tricky card that we have today, Keith.
Yeah, beautiful day. You know, the temperature's picking up fast and firm on the racetrack surfaces. And I'm glad you kind of glazed over yesterday because I look probably really beat up because I got beat up yesterday. I like the card. You know, the one thing you play along with me, my money's real. It's going after what I'm playing. So I feel your pain because it was not good. Prices again. You know, we took some shots. 6 of the 9, right?
Yes.
Count, we're double-digit winners.
Yes.
Early pick 5 was 4 of 5. The late pick 5 paid over 4,000.
Yep.
So, and my apologies as well from Equibase and everybody. We had a little hiccup, some issues in the office yesterday, so couldn't get all the results out on time. Thank you for your patience. I think everything's squared away. We shouldn't have those issues today, but we hate having that. It got us a little bit behind with some things, but we got it straightened out. So thank you. I know a couple of people were trying to find out what was going on, and that was the issue. Some technical difficulties down in our main office in Lexington, but we move on to Saturday.
I tried to move it on so we didn't have to bring up yesterday. But what's great about you, Keith, is that you're always prepped and ready to come and ready for battle the next day. And we are going to start that battle here in race number 1 that kicks off that early pick 5. Claiming 16, never win 3, mile on the turf, girls 3 years old and up, scratch the 1, 2, and 11. Keith, you got a price play on the number 9, True Blue Pearl, as your value play of the day.
I thought, right now, Cal, 5-2.
Right.
She got to float up, has not won on the turf, but has improved recently under the care of Claudio Gonzalez and company, right? A little bit of improved speed, synthetic to turf. Back numbers work for me. I think there's going to be a little bit of speed comes out, and she'll make waves, which I think is going to enhance the chances of the 8. Walks like a lady coming into this off of a win down at Tampa, a little freshening. But True Blue Pearl, you got Jorge Hernandez. We're familiar with him riding on the turf down in South America. He's a good turf rider. He can work out a trip. I'll take the shot. True Blue Pearl can ramp up and sustain and get it done in the opener.
You give your exacta to Water Witch, Anthony Ferrier. Jamie Rodriguez riding on the first time for the turf for Ferrier today.
Yeah, no doubt. Picking up some weight as well for people that kind of look at that from 117, 9 pounds up to 26 today. Was kind of ratcheted back early, taken firmly in hand and given a little bit too much to do, but I like the finish. We've got a couple horses out of that same race on the 28th. Water Witch, Hot Choice, and what's the other one? Miss All Wet. They're really kind of tough to separate. Similar styles. I think Miss All Wet, she had some trouble early on. You see the comment there. Fought restrained early, hung, third off of a break. Barn trying to get going. Her best race works. She's won 2 races at the mile distance and likes this turf course.
Keith Fusel goes 9.738 there in the first, and the second race does start that early pick 4. Keith, let's take a crack at your ticket again today. You just got a little unlucky yesterday, but I think you're going to have much better luck today.
Yeah, 2 times 3 is 6 times 2 is 12 times 440. 24, my bad. I probably sent it in wrong. Yeah, I was not the greatest at math. I did pretty good, but hey, $28 to get you started. 2 deep with the 1 and the 6. Damon on the engine into 6. Gilligan. Race 3 with the 2, the 3, and the 10. The race 3 to me looks like a real head scratcher. Take some shots in there at some prices. Race 4 with the 3 and the 4. Bridge to Success. Bar Down Express just running too good. Man, maybe today is finally the day for that one. Race 5, 3, 4, 6, 10. Addison Port, going to be very tough. Some other respectable horses to look at in race number 5. There's your ticket, 24. My bad on the math. Saves you a couple bucks there.
That's okay. We'll fix it. Race number 2 is a claiming 10,000 in that first leg for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 3, going 7 furlongs on the dirt. Keith, you have the number 1, the rail horse on the engine, as you mentioned, Deal DeVico. Rodriguez teaming up together for the second time. This one comes from that claiming 16 level. Yeah.
I tell you, this race I struggle with a little bit too. I thought Gilligan was the horse to beat, but a little freshening. You know, this is Damon's game. He gives these horses a little bit of a break. Rodriguez, stronger rider. I think can get this one into position. 7/8 loves the distance, right? You're right there, 2 for 2 in the money. I think we'll be able to draft into position. The other runner of Damon's might show him a little bit more speed. Patriotic Party showed that a little trouble into the turn. Could be forward. So I like on the engine from just off the pace. Need to be in range. 2 or 3 out of it past the 5/16, I think we'll be in business.
And Keith Fusel goes 1-6-3-7 there in race number 2. Race number 3 is a maiden claiming 30,000 for the girls. 3, 4, and 5-year-olds short on the turf, so that's 5.5 over here at the Laurel lawn. Scratching the 5, 7, and 14. Keith, you have the number 3 Nami on top. This one for Rudy Sanchez Salmon gets Axel Concepcion first try on the turf today.
Not abroad. Does not have a lot of runners, but by Not for Love. And a couple of them, I think one of them has hit the board twice on the turf. It might have been going long. Bottom side is where I kind of woke up to Nami. We liked this one last time off the claim. A little trouble, jostled at the start behind a good next out winner of Trombetta's horse.
Yep.
Our Liberty Bell came back to win clear. I think this is going to work. There's some speed in here, some questionable speed types. Nami to close in. This one's a half to Claire's Darling, a 3-time turf sprint winner.
Yes, absolutely. So there we have it, Nami. Again, I agree with you that questionable speed in front. You close out your exacta in stage call. Alexander White, Charlie Marquez. I'm glad you picked up on this one. Trailed the field going short, but might get a little bit better luck here over at Laurel.
Yeah, a strong field, and was kind of off a little slow, then really settled early. They didn't rush this one and just took back, settled, saving ground. She was able to save ground into about mid-stretch. Then once Jock got her outside, she picked things up a little bit. This is not the field she faced in debut. That was a really, really strong field. We saw this barn get it done at a price not too long ago with Fun Notion. Similar kind of resume here. I think we got a shot at a price here with the 10 stage call to rally into it. The 2 Mashua looks to be part of that speedful as the 6 Abstract Moment. There's a lot of ways to go. Free admission is quick. You're looking or trying to change things up here. Jockey trainer combo is strong. There is some turf in that breeding when you kind of dig a little bit. So I like some shots in here. The 3 Nami stage call. I'll key around those top and bottom in my exacta.
Yep, Charlie Marquez has been riding well as of late. So Keith Fusel goes 3-10-2-6 in race number 3. Race number 4 is a maiden claiming 30,000 on the dirt, 5.5 on the dirt. So we go for the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. Keith, you have the number 3 on top, Bridge to Success for Mikey Giralis. Jean Novello. I take the same stab at that one. But you also have Bar Down Express for Rudy Sanchez Salmon, Axel Concepcion. Let's go ahead and take a look. We mentioned this one a bit earlier, just really starting to run very well.
Just, was gelded, first gelded back off that break in the barn change May the 4th, and just kind of was run game race after game race after game race. It's just a shame that he hasn't been able to get through the maiden ranks. He's making some money. Today could be the day. There's some kind of question marks in here. You got a firster that's, working out great. Will that one bring some speed to the table to join Bar Down Express and make them work? But doesn't really matter. He's going to stay around. He's the horse to beat. He's going to be a very short price. I think he's right there again. Scratched off of that turf race to go. This is the better spot here today. But the 3, Bridge to Success.
I wanted to hear why. I wanted to hear why to get your thing on Bar Down Express, and then the why the Bridge to Success.
Why the Bridge to Success? Because I'm thinking maybe one of these horses, like the first, or even Rob's horse, is going to be able to kind of off the break, shows a bullet, this Dowsing Rod, and who's kin to some runners. This horse's first race looks brutal. Had a little trouble out of the gate. Went and looked back at that, and just no run whatsoever. Give him time to regroup. So I think the flow is going to be honest. If the 4 clears, he's gone. But if he gets some pressure, Bridge to Success has shown the ability to kind of close in, freshened up, protected with the waiver. Owner-trainer did something similar the other day, got a win with Mary Jane Chrome. Just taking a little shot. Bar Down Express, maybe that seconditis kind of horse, but man, he sure is game.
He's super game. We'll see how it pans out. 3-4-1-2 for race 4 for Keith Fusel. In race number 5, the last leg of the early pick 4, a mile and 16th on the turf for the 3-year-olds and up is this restricted allowance. Also starts the Rainbow pick 6. I couldn't find a single, but 2 seems to be my number of the day. Races number 5 and 6, I do go with, 3 deep, 3, 10, and 4. Same order as you. There we go, Keith.
Okay.
And then 2, 10, 11. But I will delve into that ticket a little bit more in the afternoon. I tried to give you a cheaper ticket to just give you a base structure because, again, this is a tricky card, Keith. I wanted to leave room for anybody who's playing the pick 6 to kind of pick a race where they really think they can go wide, and that's what I suggest. So today, I just kind of gave you a bit of a skeleton structure. So 28.80. Let's get back to this restricted allowance, and let's talk about the Addison Pour, and let's go to the Addison Pour back at Laurel Park on the May 5th. First time on the turf.
Like a duck to water.
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of how this transition went. a couple really dull tries on the dirt. You're getting $6, 6-1, I should say, on on Brittany Russell at Laurel over the surface back in early May, and just really took to it. Was caught 3 wide around both turns. I mean, didn't have the easiest of trips, but confidently handled there by Sheldon Russell pretty much the whole way.
It didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't really matter. And I dug a little bit deeper back today, and a definite turf within the family, staying that wide throughout and drawing off by 5 and some change. Turf races, usually you don't see horses winning off by that much. This one did. Now, steps up here. But this barn, when returning off the win on the turf, pretty good percentage. We'll show you this stat in a minute. But the Addison Poor is going to kick away here. A length clear, a little shift in at the 8th pole, but then widens. I think pace will be a little bit quicker. But, you know, moving inside, I think this horse should be able to save some ground.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a kind of the thing that's been working for Russell lately. With some of these dirt horses haven't not needed a pick-me-up. They've been finding it on the turf. And, Keith, you've got a stat in the past 3 years on the turf. 23% in the winner's circle, 11 for 47, and 24 for 47 in the money with these last-out winners.
Yep.
$3, 21 cents. That's great.
It's a very, very good ROI. He's gonna have to maintain and run something closer. I think as close to that number, because you've got some horses in here. Crabs and Beer is proven on the turf, and when looking at the flow, I think might be aggressively handled. We saw Sheldon take initiative with that turf horse with the blinkers on yesterday and able to dictate it. So this one can carry the speed, go a long way on the turf. Has faced the right kind. Willow Wood, blinkers on a couple races back. It was first time blinkers last time at Pimlico on the turf. Just an absolute whistle, you know, ran through the wire. You see that wasn't even asked till upper stretch with some pretty solid internal fractions that this one was tracking. The only interest might be this outer post here today. That could be it, but I think he'll be able to get position with the kind of horses inside of him that look like they don't quite have the tactical speed that he does. I think Rodriguez will get this one in a good spot. Crabs and Beer, yes. Riccio, interesting. You know, bottom side, you see Rashetta. Strong family, concealed identities in there. Peach of a Gal's a great stakes type horse on the turf. So, yeah, Addison Poor certainly looks good, but there's some other worthy challengers here in race 5.
As Keith Fusel goes, 310, 4-6, plenty of value in that race in race number 5. And we'll be right back after this commercial break to talk about races 6 through 10.
And they're off.
We go from one nice turf race to another in race number 6, which does kick off that jackpot super high at 5. Carryover 2,617, and that begins and is only in race number 6. As I mentioned, a mile and 16th on the turf for the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds in this maiden, claiming 45,000. Scratch in the 6, 13, and 14. Keith, you land on the number 10, Holy Moly, who I have in my exacta for Arnaud Delacour. First-time starter with Victor Carrasco on top.
Pretty cool situation here in race number 6. The start of, you know, this is your jackpot super high 5. We've got the full brothers going against each other, right? I saw Rod Dog, and I noticed it this morning. Holy Moly, the 10 and the 4, Giants Bane. Holy Moly, the younger one there at 3. And that's going to be my top selection for Arnaud Delacour. No stranger to kind of getting horses ready to go and win long. First out, especially on the turf course. So there's your shot. You want to take a look at some of the, you know, the offspring. Take a look at Giants Bane. He's been okay. He's the one that gets a little bit freshened here for Sarah Nagel. I think finds the right kind of spot after a wide trip before the break. Should be able to settle in. You know, might need to lay a little bit closer by the time they hit the 3/8, but I think he'll bring a kick. I think Vaccination's another one. Your top selection certainly works. Settled well back from an outside post last time. It just was given a little bit too much to do. Third time gelding, they're kind of, you know, the numbers increase slightly on the turf, but I think he's a horse he can just keep on going and going. So you had a couple of these horses maybe off breaks that might flatten a little bit. He looks like a follow-through type. Doesn't have that big rapid kick, but I think can make a run into it. You're looking for a little bit of a bomb. Got a sneaking suspicion, the 5 sneaking suspicion might hit the board here at a gazillion to 1. Had a little bit of trouble down the backside, a little bit caught behind horses over at Pimlico. But once he kind of got clear, he was a little bit green, a little erratic. I thought maybe blinkers might go on this guy. Finished up quite well. So if you're looking for a horse maybe to complete that exact to try or super at a big number, even bet a couple bucks to win, because he's going to be a price here for Susan Cooney.
Add some prices to that with Keith's starters picks of 10 to 5-4 there in the Jackpot Super High 5 race number 6. Race number 7 is an allowance optional claiming 40,000, 7 furlongs on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up, scratching the 3 and the 9. Keith, you have the number 2 on top. You have the 2 and the 10. Let's take a look at Sappha's Day and Holy Synchronicity back at Pimlico.
Yeah, that's the May 19th race. C's Get Degrees, kind of a good key horse here. Holy Synchronicity, you see him out there. He's out getting a hot dog out on Northern Parkway. 4 and 5 wide. It wasn't really a bad spot to be, but that wide into this flow, really kind of tough and just kind of chased and went even. Sappha's Day, this was first off the claim, worked that good trip. 2 wide, kind of kept on grinding. We showed you the stat yesterday with Jacobson. Continues at 50% now, right, here in Maryland over the last 3 months or so. Sappha's Day had a brutal trip last time. I went back and read that longer comment by the guys up in New York. Steady start, a little steady again. Yeah, caught wide, still trying, increased number. Going to go second blinkers. And he may need to kind of stay in range a little bit closer. He's never run 7/8. Will he bring that finish? He looks like a kind of steady grinding type. I want to hear your thoughts on this horse, Swill, off 659 days for Brittany Russell, Sheldon Russell, getting them out.
Give me 1 second to get, because I have a separate section for my separate pick for my notes.
Time.
So give me 2 seconds to scale to that one. Swill for Brittany Russell, Sheldon Russell. Most of the Cox Russell transfers do well. This one has proven that he can do well off of the layoff. So I go and refer back to that race at Ellis Park. Came from a significant enough layoff where not quite comparable to 475 days, but this is a half sibling to Stitch, a double routing turf listed stakes winner. The other sibling is a first-time starter. So my only concern is that this one might be a need the lead type, but that's been working for Sheldon as of lately.
Yeah, I'm looking at this race. Yeah, will he need it? Works are great. Obviously, the talent is there. I think he's going to have to work a little bit because River Dog with the scratch of In Dreams and Minister for Magic, I didn't think was as quick as River Dog. He's going to have to work a little bit. River Dog works for me. I kind of protected late last time out. I think with the scratches, we'll take things a little further. Yeah, definitely intrigued with the 4-horse Swill in here.
Absolutely. As Keith Fusel goes 210, 4-6 there in race number 7. Race number 8 is an allowance optional claiming 55,000. A mile and 16th on the turf for the 3-year-olds and up. Keith, you have the number 4 Eons on top for Arnaud Delacour. Jamie Rodriguez coming off of that nice Laurel effort last time after a bit of a rough trip over at Keeneland, 2 back. Yeah,
that wasn't the easiest as goes. Made a little bit of run into that salty field and just couldn't quite get going. He's getting a little bit longer in the 7 years old. But, he's been consistent. His numbers just stack up every race in, race out. He's right there. Doesn't have a slew of speed. That might hurt him a little bit because Bodie Cream looks like the only real challenger to the other Delacour horse, Dr. Davis, who that was first time Lasix long on the turf last time and got it done. Let's look at Dr. Davis. I think Eons is going to work a good trip, saving ground inside out to rally into it. But do we have that video?
We do.
Yeah, at 22 to 1. And we used this horse. I was a little surprised to see him kind of slip away. He was stretching back out, as we said, with that Lasix. Went pretty good internals. Met the challenger around the turn. Kicked back away and just digs in game to beat a pretty good field. Now he's got to step up into the 3 other than ranks. That's where it really gets tested. But I think he's going to like the way this turf course is playing. If Bodie Cream isn't able to press, I think he carries that pace a long, long way in here.
Absolutely. Just out of curiosity, Flop Shot, I thought about this one. So what's your take on Flop Shot on just putting this one in your top 4?
Again, this is a little bit of a guess. You're going from the Chad Brown barn hurdles. Capable, certainly. They can get. They're very familiar with turf runners, so just that change. I'm just a little surprised. The kind of did they give up? I don't know.
Right.
That was the key. He's 7 years old. Were they looking for another career? That's it. Talent has been there. It's shown. If he brings anywhere close to a good race, it'll work. Same thing for Royan, another one off the the jump races, but likes Laurel, has run well here. And Forest Boys, I don't need to say anything else on the turf or dirt.
There we have
she
it.
rides good races and rides smart races. There you go.
There we have it. Keith Fusel goes 4-2-3-8 in race number 8. Race number 9 is another allowance optional claiming 55. This is 8.5 on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Keith, you have the number 3 Armando R coming back in action off of that Pimlico special effort.
Yeah, he just, really tough field. Right on roll, came back to win again, another stake. And he was just discombobulated after the break. He bobbled a little bit out of there and just showed no interest whatsoever. He comes back with Lasix today. He comes back to a track he's familiar with. And he's going to get the kind of the flow that he likes. He's closed in. It's funny. He looks like a horse. He just knows when he hits the top of the stretch, it's time to start running. And I think it's going to work for him today. Yeah, he's in for the tag. Nostalgic Run, Spa City, even Galerio, Tapping Cat. Flow, I think, is going to work in here, and I'm going to give him a shot to get it done. It was tough for me to separate the 3 and the 5.
Speaking of Galerio, let's go ahead and take a look at Galerio back on the Pimlico a couple of weeks ago, getting into that first turn.
Yeah, this is a few anxious moments in here. Just kind of really full of himself, pulling along. You see the comment. He has to steady a little bit. Jock just couldn't quite get him relaxed. He was just really keyed up. But once he got position, he looked like a stone-cold winner, I thought, from the far turn, because he got position off of Tappin' Cat and Everett Song, who kind of got involved a little bit. There you see it again, like a steady again, and really kind of just get himself. So that might have just taken enough out of him, that fight. But he tips out. No real excuse from here. Shifts out 3-4 wide, dead aim. Everett Song just too good that day. But Galerio, he'll bring back another punch today. I think he's going to work. Be better. Clear winner last time. Set off off the duel, perfect trip, up a level. Let's see if he can continue, because he's still going to have to move upwards if he's going to beat these horses.
I agree with that. I have that one in my exacta. So you can see Galerio looking for another 1-2 punch. I think we're also going to see that same type of punchy production from Galerio this time here today in race number 10. Our last race of the day is a maiden claiming 30,000, going 5.5 on the dirt for the 3, 4, and 5-year-old girls. Keith, let's go ahead and take a look at Poggy Bonesy, your top selection, back on May 12th over at Pimlico, going into that mid-turn.
Yeah, I mean, claim for 30, right? Back in for 30. I just like to see a little bit of race. You're running for the right kind of pots, and you've got aggressive owners, aggressive trainer, right connections, and this one just kind of gets sandwiched in between horses. 23 flat is quick. That equates to 22 and some change, maybe 2, because there's no run-up at Pimlico. 45 and 4, they were just laying it down around the turn, and he had every right, or she had every right to get a little bit tired through the final eighth of a mile. Comes back with a field. Some other ones have shown speed in here. But you know what? I think she's the speed of the speed. I think she can separate by the time they hit the quarter pole. I think she's going to be able to kind of keep on going here for Kieran and company.
And you also have Ellie Marie in your exacta for Henry Walters. Tracks Victor Carrasco, and we switch back from the turf to the dirt today. Yeah,
this one maybe better bred for dirt. Closed up a little bit late on the grass. Took some play off some really quick works over the main track at Pimlico. So, I think you've got some chasers in here, because if the 3 goes, Jeremiah, Quick K, they're going to have the running shoes on to kind of press that one and go on. So I think a couple horses are going to come back. Ellie Marie in the 5, a little late luck, look like the ones that are going to benefit from that speed up front. You got to give me a little touch on the one horse, Forgotten Gift. What are your thoughts here?
Forgotten Gift.
On the first or?
A little bit of breeding.
Okay.
I go from a breeding angle. The only thing that I have against this one is really we have the rail position for this. So Tim Keefe with his first-time starters, it's still not the strongest at, but it still has been heating up a little bit. You have bandbox 17%, and the gate work. That gate work on May 28th over here at Laurel Park 48 and 3, I was attracted by.
Okay.
And the Dam did win first race coming off of the pace going short. So I just that's a little a little bit of breeding that maybe helps out. But with that, on top of that, I also mentioned Tim Keefe warming up. He's 13% for this meet so far. So while we're starting out the meet strong, and hopefully he'll be able to catch up with that.
How about that firster yesterday that he had that was just bet off the board? Too Many Kisses, 9-5. Brittany Russell, 3-1. You just don't see, you know what I mean, when you're kind of looking at that was kind of crazy. We're looking at the board, and Northern Glow got it done. Came with that run in between horses. That was a note I wanted to say on the show yesterday. That horse worked like 21-2. Spent a lot of money for a Bourbon Courage down at that sale at Ocala.
Okay.
You know, it was on that synthetic surface down there, but brought it. And, maybe just too many kisses. Next time out. We'll see.
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe just needed the race. And so we'll find out next time for that half to still having fun. And let's go on to the lightning round. Let's dive into a couple of moments that I'm really excited to talk about, like your value play in race number 1, the number 9, True Blue Pearl for Claudio Gonzalez.
Steadily edging up, right up to 4-1 right now. I think, I want to take at least 6-1 on this one. A couple of horses that are very tough to separate in race 1. Back races, even though she didn't win, they kind of work. Those Gulfstream races work here today.
And, of course, you bookend with your value play and your best bet. Back to your best bet, race number 10. We just talked about it, Poggy Bonesy, in between horses the entire time over there at Pimlico last
sharp internals, fried kind of in between. You got Kieran off the claim, always a dangerous move here. Let's take a shot and wrap up the day with, how do you pronounce it, Poggy Bonesy?
I say Poggy Bonesy.
That's fine.
Yes.
That's
but I also wanted to talk about something that is really endearing to hear about. The Ferris Allen Bootstrap Scholarship launched this year, and this is a $10,000 scholarship. Up to $10,000 per year will be awarded to one individual who has been working on the backstretch at Laurel Park or Pimlico or working in another support area of Maryland thoroughbred racing in the past 3 years. So the candidate should be also enrolled in a 4-year college or university in the fall of 2023. Ferris Allen's publicized quote is, "I felt it vital that our industry should do more to provide meaningful ongoing financial assistance for an individual who shares our passion for the horses. This new program will identify one worthy candidate each year, provide consequential support to further their goal of being a future leader in the Maryland thoroughbred industry as per the MTHA website." And just talking with it a little bit further about it, just due to he's had some past experiences where he just felt he could do more, and he's decided to do more. So $10,000, that's quite. It's a help. It's definitely a help for any college kid.
Extremely generous of him to do so, and you have so many worthy students out there, that sometimes just can't afford the financial burden of college, and I'm sure there's going to be a worthy recipient. There's probably plenty here. So hats off, man. That's great. You love seeing that because the youth need that.
Well,
they do.
Talking about the money amount, he mentioned it was a bit that amount could be a bit of an incentive for somebody who kind of put it out of their mind, where it could be because of that amount, it could be very much be a possibility for them. So best of luck to all those future candidates for the Bootstrap Scholarship Program, and we are going to head over to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.
All right, good luck.